We're going to get out of our fancy clothes, and we have to get humble and uncomfortable. Prayer is not comfortable. What he did was uncomfortable. He went out into public, tore his clothes, put sackcloth and ashes on him, and he went straight to the gate. He was making himself known. And it was wigging Esther. She wanted to make sure that, oh, don't do that. She was worried about his life. He didn't care. And then once the Jewish people started reading this edict, they started joining him. And then once Esther got the information about what was going on, she joined him too. And they fasted and prayed as a group. And they wept and they mourned. And it was uncomfortable. Fasting's not fun. They didn't drink water either for 3 days. That's hard to do. You got to have the right outfit for the right time, and sometimes the right outfit is sackcloth and ashes. That's how we take out evil. All of us should be prayer warriors. All of you need to grow in prayer. It's really important. It's part of being a star. I like to pray, and I could pray a lot more. We're having a lot of fun praying, aren't we? It's actually fun, but sometimes it's not fun. Sometimes it's like wipe you out. Absolutely wipe you out. I mean, and when I'm wiped out, one little thing will take me down. Then I'm really hit by the enemy, and then God's grace comes and pulls me back up again. It is war. It is like going out and battling. These guys don't get it again. We get this. We don't war against flesh and blood, but power and principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places.
In looking at your titles, like Vashti is the spirit of the victim, and that's one of the things that the Jewish people have to watch, because they get into victim mentality, and then they see everything as prejudice against the Jews.
Yes.
And so the spirit of Vashti can still be present, even though she's not Jewish. But it's like really understanding the spirit of the chosen. We as Christians carry that spirit. It's not a religion, it's a life. Mm-hmm. You are carrying a life. You've been given to carry a life. Who was it told me tonight, you had a client and you asked them if they were a Christian, and they said yes, they were. Dorothea, do you want to tell that story? Was it you? Wardell. I'd like you to tell that story because I think it makes the point. Yes, but you have to go like this.
Oh, like that? Is that better?
Yes.
I got it.
It's on now? Okay, anyway. I had a business client that I met with this afternoon, and we were not there to talk about the Spirit of God or anything, but somehow or another, we're in a restaurant, and we're at a restaurant table, and there's all kinds of people eating around us, and he made this statement that, and I can't recall how he got there, but that he was a Christian. I says, oh, what does that mean? I says, does it mean that you follow the Holy Bible? Oh, no, I don't believe in that. I says, then you're not a Christian. And so he went from being a Christian to being an atheist to being an agnostic. And this went on for 3 hours, and people were watching. We're having this battle between myself and my niece, who were, telling him that, he kept saying, I have no faith. I says, well, faith is by hearing, and hearing the Word of God, and you refuse to open the Bible. What are you so terrified of? I said that you to be in the position that you are now, you had to read and study everything to give you the title so that you can do what you do. But you're terrified to read the Bible. What are you so afraid of? And I just don't believe that. I said, so how do you know you don't believe it? You have never read it. Because at first he'd said he'd read the Bible, and then I got out of him that was a lie. He had never read the Bible. But it sits on his desk at work, and he calls himself a Christian because it sits on his desk. True story.
Wow.
But anyway, to make a long story that could have been tragic, really, at the end of the day, he agreed that I will start reading the book of John. Because I said, that's where you need to begin, then you'll find out who it is that has all power on heaven and earth that you don't believe in because you have no faith, because you're afraid to open the Bible to learn something so that you can remain ignorant and continue with this fallacy that you're on.
Knowing you did a good job.
Yeah. I want to challenge the men to step into the place of prayer and fasting and mourning before the woman. Because Mordecai did. You're naturally fitted to be warriors.
In some ways, in the book of Ephesians, a description between the husband and the wife is the story of the spirit of Mordecai and the spirit of Esther. Mm-hmm. You see the relationship of the man who protects the woman, keeps her without spot or wrinkle, who is not smothering her, not jealous, not using her for his own ego. Okay?
Yeah. So we have the Greek adds the prayer of Mordecai and Esther. And Mordecai's heart is just acknowledging that God is the ultimate power. And he says it with his mouth. He confesses that God knows all things. And Esther's prayer is a different type of prayer. She lets it be known that none of these luxuries that she has mean anything to her. It's not her identity. She was put up into a high position to affect the realms, not for her own identity. And she knows that. She actually doesn't like the crown. I loathe the symbol of my high position, she says. Bound round my brow when I appear at court. It's for her, it's like the thorns on Christ's head. It's not her, but she's willing to wear it and be a sacrifice. Did she want this? How do we know what our life will be? We've got all these plans and goals and dreams, and boy, every 13-year-old out there has them. Toss it. Just get rid of it. I mean, go a little bit down the pathway, but do not be surprised if you have a lot of roadblocks or it just doesn't go that way. You don't really have the big picture. All you get is the loving beauty of Christ in your life, and he's leading you. And it will all come into play. Just obey. Be willing to die. That's all you got to do. You're going to die anyway. He gives you the ticket. So that Esther comes to this point where she's like, it's been 30, I thought it had only been 30 days till she had seen the king. King had not called her for 30 days. That in itself is kind of strange. But Corey reminded me that it was 33 days, Mom, because she fasted 3 days. So when she finally went in to see the king, I love the drama of the Greek, because she gets her two little maids, and she changes her dress. Okay, here's dressing for success. She had done the sackcloth.
Full court press.
Yeah, full court press. But she hasn't eaten, so she's tired. Okay, so her heart is burning with her goal, but on the outside, she's looking the part. She comes in her authoritative rolling costume. She puts on her royal robes.